This is Liberty Cap. The valley that I came out of is, I like to call it, the Valley of Baca. That's where I'm supposed to change it and offer things, as a farmer you might add, ways of getting up here, health ways, emotional, physical, spiritually, financially. That's my job as a farmer. And where we're going to go is right up here to the very top of this mountain. That's our goal. And you're going to need to travel with me and understand this, because it is quite a route. Now, between us is our life. And what I've done here is we're going to talk a little bit about the theater of science, and then obviously the theater of marketing. You know you need to have certain amounts of vitamins and minerals. And if you're working in an industrialized arena, it's all about making money. And so they're going to take some truths that you need calcium and you need magnesium and iron, but they're going to do it as inexpensively as they can. And the theater of science comes into play. What I've done is I picked up some dirt from here, and we're going to make it sound like it's a chelate of sugar or fructose or amino acids. And then I found some rocks which represent the minerals that we need. And we're going to take it and we're going to grind it up like this, chelate it, bond it. Chelation is a Greek word meaning claw. And so they bind that to that. And that's their answer to getting that inorganic salt, dead rock, into your body and into a cell. And you see the way, the principles that I function under is, this is a plant. And you'll notice a root system down here. And this little rock, when it goes into that as a trace mineral, and it comes out into the form of a plant, there's a number of things take place. One, that's converted first to an organic nutrient, so it has wavelengths. And I'm going to introduce you to some really interesting words like frequencies, like energy fields. So when we do this, this plant suddenly becomes the source of our nutrients. And in this plant, there are some incredible oils that protect the plant and protect you and I. We just need to understand how to harvest them. But until you run that rock through this plant, there is no nutritional value to that. And the theater of science and the theater of marketing allows them to do that, because you know when you have a need and you also have a price tag. So here's my upfront offer to you, to offer you nutrition in organic form for half the money that you're spending on foods and vitamins and minerals that they make the vitamins from asphalt. Okay, it's crazy, isn't it, that that's what they can do? And then they run it through, and in my world, this bucket is your liver. And that liver cleans the blood, takes out a lot of toxins, and even in this case, it's loaded with rocks and glass and just a host of things. But you see, with a clean liver, that's your fat burner of the body. And if you don't have a clean liver, you're not burning fat. Clean liver, according to the Chinese and even Western science, means clean brain. And the third part of this wonderful story about cleaning is the digestive tract, where we now have found a second brain. And this second brain actually is more active than the one between your ears. So that's the story. Now, if you start clogging this thing up with foods, and by the way, most diseases are from lack of nutrients, not necessarily toxins, but when you put something like we just described, and it malfunctions in terms of wavelengths, you've destroyed this harmonic functioning of your body. So once this is destroyed, then it begins to show up in the skin, which is depicted by my logs. And we do all kinds of things to cover up the aging factor, and it's expensive. And of course, we got weight loss and got diabetes. And when you start putting a logical approach to this, you suddenly say, gosh, you mean you're telling me that you can produce this, and we at Nefesh can do this, produce a food that gives you all of your vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and energy-producing nutrients that go to the mitochondria. And on top of that, when everything's said and done, we're going to clean up the mess that we left behind, and we're going to clean it up in a really nutritious way. And all at once, we've changed the story, because maybe we can turn this dead old skin into something that really looks vibrant. And you know, I started this routine about 30 years ago, worked in the business of nutrition for a number of years, and it just bothered me how come we would take something so incredibly important, such as this body, and then throw junk into it, and hopefully it would function. And pain, agony, fatigue, stress keeps us from functioning because our pool of foods is pretty much determined through advertising and through convenience. Well, this is a participating game. But what I've shown you here is the way to take this and clean up the arteries that you see behind me, depicted by the wire, wire that's made up here, the barbed wire. And that's how most people's body is. So if we took it upon ourselves, and you're involved, and I could teach you this, would you make that risky decision to cut your cost of living, grocery-wise, in half and increase the production of energy many times? Would that be of interest to you? Secondly, this is really a David and Goliath story. And this mountain behind me, that's my Goliath. And I'm the David. And at this particular time, you would think that I was the underdog. Well, actually, I'm not, because you see, I found in my son a guy that could guide me up that thing. And that's exactly what we've done, is climbed. What you see is a wall. And that wall is anxiety depicted. It's diabetes, it's cardiovascular issues, it's cancer, it's fatigue, it's obesity. And those are things that are holding you back from meeting your goals and meeting your needs. And the fact that today, with everything happening in our government, you see a propensity of people to control your life, and you have every ability to control it yourself. With a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of discipline and a little bit of support, takes this mountain, this Goliath, and all at once we become the power. We make the decisions. Now there's a way around this and climb up on top, which the vast majority of people do. But it is so fun to climb up the face of this, to where you get to look out here and say, I'm no longer living in the normal side, but I've reached the top where the eagles fly, where people do things to get up here, and it is really fun to sit with those folks and find out what they did. And in terms of business, think about the picture you paint for somebody you're doing business with. Healthy, energized, cognitive skills going through the ceiling, skin that looks good for half the money. That's our solution at Nefesh Energy. Please join me in this crusade, and I will help you. I'll walk you through it, and I want you to know it is not that complicated. Steve Wilson, the Nefesh Energy.